It's broken. That one's broken. What a shame. What an absolute shame. Alright. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. So, it's early this morning. It's the 24th of December. And yeah, it's nothing else to say. Oh, one thing though is that I slept early again today. Well, last night. I think this is the thing when I sleep early, right? When I sleep early, I naturally just wake up earlier. So like we're like 30 minutes earlier than usual. Like right now, I'd still be sleeping, but I woke up early, and since it's within the 30-minute or nearly around the 30-minute rule, I just stay awake and just go to the gym. That's my rule usually. Is that if I naturally wake up and there's less than 1 hour before I have to wake up anyways, I just wake up. What's the worst that could happen? You know, that's what I always do. That's my basic. That's one of sensei's rules. Is that if you wake up earlier and you've only got and there's like if you wake up 1 hour, no, if you wake up earlier and you have less than an hour before you have to wake up anyways, you might as well just wake up and just get to work, get to start the day, you know. If you have if there's like less than 1 hour left before you have to wake up, you might as well just go. There's no point in going back to sleep. If you go back to sleep, you're lazy because you're gonna be waking up in like less than an hour anyways. So what's the point of going back to sleep? You're not gonna get any good sleep. You're just gonna be lazy fuck. So that's one thing. So that's why when I wake up today, there's like 30 minutes before I have to wake up anyway. So I was like, oh, well, what is that 30 minutes of rest gonna do? Nothing. So I might as well just start the day. So yeah, sleeping earlier than usual. And you know what? Right now we're walking at 3 speed, and the left kneecap is absolutely fine, and the right joint is tolerable. It's not the best, but right now walking at 3 speed, that's improvement from yesterday. So right now it's doing pretty good. It's pretty good right now. One thing I do notice is that when I come earlier to the gym, golden hour is not even here yet. So matter of fact, going earlier doesn't guarantee golden hour. Golden hour is just based. Now some might say that golden hour is not very nice. I'd say it's good for this purpose to make everyone leave. Anyways, I've been thinking of practicing a running style, but I can't practice right now because again, when you wait for the joint to heal. But at this pace of sleeping early, getting some rest, eating carbs, and not really running or going intensive cardio, it's definitely we're definitely going to be on track quite fast, I reckon. Unless they become arrogant, unless they become like stubborn and arrogant and just start running again like right now. Nope, never mind. Haha. I literally just tried. That's why I pushed it and it didn't work. I just walk. Since I woke up early, I'll wait. I'll wait. Matter of fact, maybe I should try 5 speed. Just to I got 5 speed. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Maybe 4 speed. I reckon we could do 4 speed. Hmm. It looks like we can do 4 speed, but I'm gonna swing my arms just to help my joints out. I'm not sure swinging arms is good, but it's alright. I mean, it's better than doing this. You know, swinging arms definitely help, and it's to get a good rhythm. Also, I saw people running like they swing the arms a lot like this. The swinging arms definitely help there. Yeah, it keeps the nice momentum rhythm thing. Even though I probably look like an idiot. Okay, if it helps, it helps. It's better than holding onto the rail. And yeah, so I just swing my arms. Is there anything else to talk about? As you can tell, I'm not even like sleepy at all because I woke up naturally. Usually I'm like sleeping, but right now I'm just like awake. One of these days, sleeping early, you're awake. I guess what I did yesterday? Ah, yes. I am creating a personal NCS track. There's this NCS playlist I was listening to on YouTube, and it's good, but it's bad because there's so many cuts and like edits because the people on the channel are trying to get the money, so they're trying to monetize it and cut out all of the copyright. Because a majority of the NCS videos now are slightly copyrighted than it used to be, so it is what it is. But I extracted the data. Okay, we need to go back to 3 speed. I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna have to go back to 3 speed. I can feel the joints not really happy with 4 speed. It is what it is. Anyways, continuing to talk. Yeah, I'm thinking about releasing the own personal NCS track that I think is pretty nice. I got it from this video called Try Hard NCS. Even though I'm not a try hard, it's like a lock. It's kind of based. I don't mind it. I'll definitely share it though. I just have to edit it, kind of, because some of the songs is like impossible to find on YouTube. Literally, some of the songs have no name, but I'll figure it out. So yeah, just yesterday did that. Haven't done an ARC stream in a while. What else is there? We're not going to be able to finish the ARC series this month, I reckon. Not a chance. We're only like day 60 something, so still that's like 40 hours plus. It could be done if I do a marathon, but now's not the time for a marathon considering it's the holidays. So I'm not alone. It's annoying. I mean, it's not annoying, but it is what it is. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. Yesterday I was just collecting NCS things and also very good framework testing. And yesterday's framework test was quite interesting. I really should, not should, I could. I really should like make like a short on the thing I read yesterday, like a little recap, because I think those recap videos, I watch recap videos myself on other videos. Like for example, recently I watched this guy recap the entire One Punch Man anime for me without me needing to watch the entire thing or read it. Actually, yeah, matter of fact, movie recaps and like recaps where it's like the guy just narrates over the entire story and like shortens it so much. Sometimes I appreciate that. I mean, no, not really. It just depends. But the story I read yesterday, I could recap it, but I don't know if it's allowed on YouTube. If you're asking why it's not allowed on YouTube, it's because these stories, I reckon the best stories are probably on those. I'm gonna. Okay, whatever, shut up. If you know, you know, but if you want to read some stuff, actually, no, the law was just interesting and it had some decent framework in it that I could extract, but I'm on the TV. There's those like 2026 World Champion darts. I always wondered. I reckon if you really, really like darts, you could easily train, right? I don't know. I just feel like if you really, really dedicated to playing darts, you would spend every waking hour just throwing darts and then trying to get the perfect bullseye every single throw. But then again, I also understand that sometimes I've seen on the TV, the judges force you to like target a specific part on the board. So it's not just repetitive tasks, you need to be accurate in all realms. It's, no, no, but I know that we're definitely healing the joints. because we haven't been running recently. It's been like nearly 2 weeks of not running. It's unfortunate, but better than being disabled, I guess. But even if we wouldn't be able to, even if we couldn't walk, I would still walk because I'm not allowed to die. Does that? Uh, Today we're gonna be eating like domo again. Got a lot of rice. This time I'm gonna try to eat 2,600 calories of rice. I feel like eating lots of rice today. Yeah. What else is there? Uh, Muesli's OP as always. Just saying. Very, very OP, overpowered. Because like less than 400 grams is already so many calories. So the density and stuff compared to rice is just insane. It's very good. Now what else is there to talk about? Really don't know what else there is to talk about. I could describe the story. Maybe if you guys are really nerdy, not nerdy, but really, really care about what I watched, not what I read, you can maybe try to find it. But the thing is that I only read like 8 chapters of this story, and then I skipped to like the last four. I skipped like the entire thing basically. I only read like the beginning and ending because I was too lazy to read through the entire goddamn thing. Because I wasn't there for well, yeah, I wasn't there for like the actual thing. But as I read the lore, I just continued reading it because I was like, damn, this lore is interesting. So yeah, the lore was pretty much how basically this guy went back in time to meet his parents, his younger parents, in a younger age, and then the son pretty much learned the real ways of their parents, which kind of just shows how old people used to be young as well. It's kind of interesting. That's why I kind of read it until I stopped reading it and just skipped to the end because it started getting to the point where they wanted to interest the reader in other ways, not the actual lore. But yeah, pretty much it's like the son went back in time and then he saw his parents young and like the difference between his parents older and younger is big difference. It's like his mom was like old, that was like was hospitalized and old and sad, but then in the past they're like super young and actually a lot more hedonistic than he thought. And then like it turns out it wasn't even his mom. His mom was someone completely different. And then his mom was a bunch of. And the story was that the dad was just a player, and that's it. And then that comes into the ecosystem of how in the in the Matrix you need all sides to the thing. So as much as the story is a bit sad, you have to also understand that in order for the society and the world to run, you need situations like that to happen. You need playboys, you need families broken, you need heartbreaks, you need suicide, you need it all because it all balances out in the end. Because there's no light without dark, and the reality is that in order to have a good family with two people, two people having children, a family of like four, or five, or six, or seven, or eight. In order for that family to happen, you're gonna need another group of humans to be doing the opposite. Hedonism, you know, one night stands, playboys, knockups and pregnancies, abandoned kids, abandoned families. You need those. There has to be a balance in this society. You need a balance of the light and the dark. And at the same time, there's no actual light and dark because it depends on the ecosystem and perspective. From the Playboy's perspective, from the Playboy's perspective, he is the light and the families are dark, which basically correlates to saying that I don't have to have kids because another family's having kids. So I get the light, they get the dark. And then it could also be reversed from the families, from the family force POV, saying that in order for us to have a family of kids, there has to be the playboys in the dark that distract the people that want to do that. So there's never black and white, it's grey. Remember that in life there's no right side, there's no good, there's no bad, because it really depends on the ecosystem. Everything's grey, so there's no black and white, there's grey, and there has to be a balance regardless. So yeah, that I don't think the manga actually really helped explain it. I think it's just I read I read it with my own framework and understood it perfectly. Matter of fact, now I don't want to recap it because I just realized that it's mainly me. It's not even the actual story. It's just me who understands, maybe looks into it. But yeah, that's that. Just no light without dark. You need to understand the principle and you become really stoic about it because it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And as much as the story wants to convey it as sad, I think of it as, it is what it is. A lot of people don't use the it is what it is moment. Like recently, a student was talking about how a person was like not moving on. And I was like, yeah, it is what it is. But it seems like sometimes people just can't accept it. You either move on or accept the new terms and conditions. And again, logically wise, a relationship in a certain ecosystem requires both parties to know what they want. And then you've also got the other ecosystem where it's just like a somewhat belief in faith that everything will be fine. It just depends on the ecosystem because yeah, it really depends on the ecosystem. Only thing about me is that my ecosystem varies so much, and my ecosystem is mainly just elitist because my ecosystem allows me to see both sides, which makes it like an anomaly variant. Because most of the time, people in ecosystems stick to one, then they have no knowledge of the other one. Well, for me, I have the knowledge of that ecosystems exist and the world's grey. So that's me. I understand and see it all. Whereas most people are born, raised, and stay in one ecosystem without the knowledge of the other. So they live in like a that's the matrix basically, to a degree. They live in an ecosystem where they have no knowledge about the other one anyways. So then they're just stuck in that one, right? But the difference between me is that I'm an anomaly, so I already see it all. So I can see both sides, and I can see how it's grey. And I have no allegiance to one side because I understand that both require a balance. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. We've been talking for nearly 20 minutes straight, but at least it keeps me. I mean, that's because first of all, I'm not sleepy, so I really can't just talk on forever. Two, we're walking, so I can just, not we're walking, so just healing the joint. No, be nice in the joints, so we can heal up and start running again. And yeah, I mean, right now 3 speed's doing pretty well. Maybe I'll walk a bit longer today, or not. Don't really know. 30 minutes is pretty good. Oh, we can't really go faster than 3. 3.5 is okay. So yeah, what else are we talking about? Just really about it. Cause yeah, ecosystem. I like using the word ecosystem so much. Using the word ecosystem just sounds a lot better because it makes sense. Because originally I just started saying no, ecosystem is literally the right word. I can't think of another word because ecosystem self-explanatory. You know, it's an ecosystem. Because yeah, just depends on the ecosystem you're in, which is basically just your surroundings and culture and whatever. Matter of fact, it actually makes me think of you know you know how people say, for example, me, right? If I like date a not date because dating's not my ecosystem, but example is being with like a black person, right? Right, and it's not actually in reality. Maybe the skin color is what doesn't make them attractive to the other person. This is just a scenario-based situation, but in reality, it's not actually about skin color. It's about the ecosystem. So, it's like I don't really care that you're black, right? What I care about is your ecosystem within around you. So it's kind of like, okay, if I swap ecosystems slightly, so let's pretend that I'm in this ecosystem where dating's a thing, which obviously I'm not, but just as this an example, I wouldn't date a black girl because their ecosystem and pattern recognition isn't what I would prefer. However, if this black human, this darker skinned human, had the ecosystem of a traditional Asian, then it'll be fine because the background and ecosystem is fine, you know? So it's not even about the color, it's just the ecosystem. But we haven't really reached a point in humans right now where ecosystems are that diverse yet. Soon, but not right now. Right now, the ecosystem is still quite dense. It's again not my ecosystem to date. That's not me. It's not my ecosystem. My ecosystem is, like I explained, anomaly. Is that it? Have we talked about everything? Damn it, I'm gonna end up talking about everything now. So during the training on the muscles, I'm just gonna be dead ass silent. Maybe I'll just drink water. I can see why that's interesting to watch sometimes. This Australian guy just aced every single shot. Good on him. Oh my god, he's actually cracked. He just hit a triple shot. Sorry, it's just on my screen. It's just in front of me. You know, can't help myself. The world champion darts is in front of my face, and it's just I can see why people watch it if they really have nothing else to watch. If you really supported a player, it's like damn. Actually, I think the only interesting thing about darts is just seeing the players' confidence fumble or you know become super crazy. It's like because it's so volatile. One moment this guy could be like acing every single shot like he's cheating, and then the other guy's like fumbling every single shot. Like right now, the same man that just triple shotted everything, he just fumbled the next, I think that's why darts is kind of interesting because you see the people like swapping in between acing every single shot to fumbling, and you can see their reactions on their faces on how like yeah, it's pretty interesting. Okay, it's been 30 minutes now. I might give it a tiny bit extra time, because why not? Unless there's really nothing else to talk about. Yeah, ecosystems are just very interesting to talk about. Because this is one thing that Sensei really didn't really teach about too much. Because he stuck to one ecosystem when he taught about the other, like when he talked about relationships or whatever you want to say it. When he talks about it, he sticks to one ecosystem, and then I've seen him on X talk about how due to his ecosystem, he cannot find anything really else. But I reckon, in my opinion, if you really wanted to find a like, okay, let's pretend you're in an ecosystem where you really wanted love, if that's even real or not. Depends on your ecosystem again. But from my tests and data collection, seems like if we really, really, really wanted love, it would be highly dependent on your younger age. Because, example is if you just meet someone now, if you're like older, right? There's like a hidden kind of hidden. There's like a older older relationships are. There's a more hidden kind of like selfishness to a degree because you're both at an age older where it's like you're seeking benefits from each other on purpose, right? But if you're younger, you're a lot more carefree and you don't really think about, you don't really, you don't have the kind of selfish kind of mind of doing it for the purpose and benefits. You're doing it out of pure, just like actual. I'm not, again, I don't really know what the word love is, but when you're like a child, right? You have a different kind of mindset. And I reckon that's why in the data collection I've done, childhood friends or people that grew up together, oh shit, that's probably like shit. That probably sounds really bad. Nuts. Hold on, let me rephrase that. Like childhood school friends. So like pretty much example is those childhood friends that are like, friends from primary all the way to like university or high school, right? That's that ecosystem would probably be much better than, you know, the ecosystem where it's like both are already adults and talk. Uh, I think you guys actually, can you guys understand what I'm trying to say? It's like growing up with someone in mind as younger without actually thinking about the purpose and things is probably more love than the kind of ecosystem that Sensei follows, which is just I can provide all this. Yeah, it's kind of like Sensei's ecosystem is pretty much just I have all this, I am the A side, and I can replace you easily. So you just obey. Which sounds, yeah, I could imagine the ecosystem working. It does work. But then you've also got the other ecosystem where it's like you guys are carefree from like just chilling, enjoying each other's company until you get older, and then you face the challenges. Kind of like, yeah, definitely social media changed the ecosystem because before social media, that's kind of how relationships kind of formed. From my studies and research, it's back in the day before social media, you really, literally would choose someone from your school or university or just someone that you spend a lot of time with. So just, yeah, it's a lot to talk about, but I'm sure I could rephrase what I said today a lot better. Yeah, and I could definitely see an ecosystem where that sounds really, really bad. But I think some people get what I mean. So maybe I would say who would have a better chance, right? Two adults who go on a date and meet via, I don't know, via social media, like a DM. Hey, you want to hang out? Sure. And then they go on a date, and then they just talk, and then see who's the A side, who's the B side, and then yeah, that's not a very strong bond. Versus the example is a female and male become best friends from primary or high school, and then they spend every single day, every single of their school day together, like in the lunchtimes and stuff, all the way until like adulthood. Which peer is gonna have a better chance at, it's like, oh well, obviously the younger ones, right? Because back then they already were friends without understanding. Yes, so it's like really just depends. Ecosystem is really huge, but I would say that you really just have to look at the younger generation. No, you really just have to look at the older generation and how every single one of you guys who are watching, or every single one, my generation or younger, you really just have to look at how your parents got together, and you understand that their methods of getting together was kind of more love than in today's generation. So, yeah, ecosystems matter a lot, and yeah, especially like today's birth rate or something, right? It's going low or something. I don't really know. Doesn't really matter though. Oh no, it does. No. See, this is what happens when I talk too much. I start mixing in ecosystems because if you really want to have a deep conversation, you have to kind of stick to one ecosystem and like just stay to it, right? But for me, since I understand all ecosystems, it's like can't really stay on one thing without reminding you guys that it depends on the ecosystem. So it's pretty hard to like stick to one side because I understand both sides and it's very, very different. Anyways, today's walking's pretty good. You know, the left kneecap is very doing very well. Zero issues from that. Left right ankle is only thing about the left, no, the right ankle is that when we went above 4 speed, it was definitely struggling a bit. So in order to heal, we have to really just let it rest. Well, I'm not really resting, am I? No, but you get the point. Again, my ecosystem doesn't rely on that. I just understand both sides or both TVs. 40 minutes is fine today. An extra bit of time. Today's gonna be a fast one. Should have slept more. I need to go back to Ark. Haven't touched Ark in so long. We're trying to get a Tech Rex. Whatever. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. This is gonna be a long video because I just realized that when I talk a lot, I don't edit. Like, I straight out talk for nearly 40 minutes straight. So that means that this video is gonna be just me talking on a treadmill for 40 minutes straight. It is what it is. Take it and take it. It is what it is. What are you gonna do about it? I guess I might as well show you guys the stats today, even though stats are quite unimpressive, but proof is proof. So here's the stats. Very weak. Elapsed time 40 minutes. Only 130 calories. 2.23, so that's not even 5Ks. Average pace very slow. Very slow. But we did do some vertical incline as well. Yeah. So stats are definitely significantly worse than usual. Finished the water, but yeah, stats aren't really the best. But it's because we're in the process of recovering from we're healing the joints, healing the joints. So it literally is what it is what it is. You know. Looks like golden hour started early today. It's strange. Usually golden hour isn't until another 30 minutes, but I guess maybe golden hour started earlier. I don't even know why I call it golden hour. I honestly just call it golden hour because it fits my need or fits my thing. And sometimes I occasionally visit the gym during peak hours just to have a look, but I haven't done that in a while. I remember doing that like a couple months ago just to do a little scan and analysis while I did some dips because I was delayed on some dips. So I was like, well, it's today Christmas. No, Christmas is for 2 days. Whatever. Don't care. It's just a number on a calendar. Shut up. Don't care. Man, I can't wait to just run when the joints heal up. Can you imagine though? Getting faster and faster running again? That would be nice. There currently our ghost time, so not official, or it is official kind of, but I never uploaded it. You have to look at the Earth log, but 36 minutes for 10Ks or around 9.87Ks. But our official record with the full video uploaded is 39 minutes. But can you imagine it? We get faster and faster at running. Who knows? Maybe we'll start hitting under 30 minutes. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, maybe we go faster. Maybe I'll break. Yeah, you don't know. It's all about willpower and things like that. A false delusion, perhaps. But can you really call it false when it's my reality? Sorry, I'm talking about. I think I got a blister on my right foot. These shoes are definitely, I don't know. Alrighty, so y'all know the goat, the goat of go. Sorry, what am I saying? The goat of machines here. The shoulder press machine. One of the goats, literally. Staple goat, whatever you want to call it. Sensei uses 3 kg dumbbells for this machine, but I don't. I know he uses 3 kg dumbbells in an alternative, but I prefer this symmetrical, symmetrical balance. Almost perfect. I think because this machine is just so efficient, I reckon that's mostly why. Because really think about it, right? One, the weights are so adjustable, so just click, click, click. Second, every time I try, if I do like dumbbells for me, I have to go like, I have to, uh, 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 you know, we must do the water, must do the water, must. I feel like you're too close to me. Oh, there's something I should talk about. Hold on. I have thought about a topic to talk about real quick. Okay, what was it to talk about? Oh, yes. Thought about a topic, not a topic, but a continuation of the ecosystem talk we were talking about. Pretty much the ecosystem talk I just thought about was that when it comes to an ecosystem that requires another partner, right? One thing about Sensei's teachings is that he basically said that, there's so many fish in the sea, so Why stick to one that causes negativity or a slight disadvantage when you could just pick a better one? But then at the same time, it depends on the ecosystem. So I guess that entire point doesn't make sense then, huh? But if you were in a certain ecosystem that put you with a person that was like negative to you or wasn't a good path for you, you just replace and find a new one. Again, it just depends on the ecosystem though. It really depends. Because it's kind of like it is what it is. That person chose it, so no, not really any kind of pity or anything. Because it is what it is. Okay, that entire thing didn't make sense, but yeah. See, that's what happens when you have my framework. You can kind of talk about it and lean into it, but then it's at the same time, it's like, well, it is what it is. That's the ecosystem they chose. Like, for example, I could like lean into it saying, all men should be treated this way with their relationships, but in the same time, it's like, but then you still need some of the other ecosystem men to be the opposite. It is what it is because it's kind of like how to say it. It's for example, is if you like, if you, it just really depends because with the framework I have, an ecosystem is like it is what it is. Leave them be thankful. It's kind of like how, let's say, for example, I'll use one in real life. There's a guy who's like cocked to his girl, right? At the same time, it's like, you could say to the person, you could do better, right? But they chose that life, and then it's kind of just like, well, it is what it is. Thank you, I guess, thank you for you doing that. So, you're creating a balance. So it's kind of like how a guy takes up a crazy girl, right? Crazy depends on what crazy means, obviously, but it's like, oh, okay, well, good, thanks. You could tell him, hey, you should leave the crazy girl. It's not good for you, but at the same time, with my ecosystem, it's like, okay, well, be with the crazy girl, then thanks. I guess now they're distracted. No, that's not dark. You take the dark, we'll take the light. But at the same time, from their POV, he's taking the light. Everyone else is dark. Just yin yang. Really just depends on the ecosystem. I could actually talk about it a better example. It's kind of like when you see two faggot or two gay guys, right? It's like, you could be like, bro, you shouldn't be gay, blah blah blah. Oh, you're not gonna have any kids. You're gay. But then when I say it, it's like, you know what? Sure, you two be gay then. Who cares? It is what it is. And then of course you get that argument of, you know, there's such a brokey argument where it's like, oh, don't go for our kids, shouldn't educate our kids. And then whenever I hear that, I'm just like, just take your kids out of the school then, or like, stop your kids from doing it. Oh, but what about the other kids? It is what it is. That's one thing I always thought about. Is like they complain about how the gays go for the go for their children. I'm like, then why don't you just prevent your children from getting in contact with them? It's like, oh, the school's teaching my kid to be gay. Take your kid out of school. Oh, you can't. Why can't you? Because the ecosystem. Well, then either do something about it or it is what it is. It's pretty due for the young generation, anyways. They got TikTok and YouTube. It's over. And Sensei's era is gone. I'm only talking to the old Sensei. In today's world, Sensei is just not him anymore. It's, whenever I talk about my Sensei, I'm talking about an old era of him. If I ever met him now or like talked about him now, it wouldn't work because he's not the same. Dude, this machine's just a goat. You really just can't beat it. Really just can't beat it. Shoulder Day is always the fastest as well, just because of how efficient it is. So efficient. It's just so efficient. Yeah, whenever I use the mic mini with the whenever I use this setup, I really have to just higher the input at the gain because slightly, yeah, it's fine though. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better setup right now with this chopstick method because again, I really am just using the carcass. Zero electronics, just the carcass. I'll finish the word later. Would there even be time to do a Mr. Nightmare? I don't know. I don't think I can do Mr. Nightmare because I need to be really charismatic when I do Mr. Nightmares. But the only way I really am quite charismatic is either when I'm alone or, yeah, isolated alone. I'm like the most charismatic when I'm alone, in peace and silence. It's just me and my. I mean, technically, I'm pretty much charismatic in the gym because I really don't care about anyone else. Everyone else here is just ghosts. That's the good thing about Golden Hour. In Golden Hour, nobody cares about anyone. No one wants to talk. That's the good thing about Golden Hour at the gym here is that everyone's focused on their own. Everyone doesn't care about each other. Everyone's just focused on their own. No one's here to really chat with each other. No one's here to make friends. Everyone here is just focus on themselves because during Golden Hour, everyone here's for a reason, not to socialize. That's the peak of Golden Hour right there. Is that I don't care and nobody else cares. Everyone just no one cares about each other. That's literally the like goat of Golden Hour. Is that nobody cares about each other. So that's why it's so good. Compared to like rush hour, I don't know, some person might try to talk to you or something. I still remember one time during busy hour, some guy tried to be like friends with me. I was like, what? Who are you? No, no, who you are. What? Where the hell did the handle go? Huh. Bro, one of these handles are gone. Will this even work anymore then? Shh. Kind of. Yeah, it still works, I guess. No, there's imbalance. There's an imbalance because the right side is slightly heavier than that machine's broken. That sucks. That does suck. It's okay. That's alright. That is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. That machine is broken because one of the handles is missing, and therefore it causes a imbalance. So the right side will get slightly. It's alright. We always have a leaning cable. We haven't done this in a while. Have we gotten stronger? I think we might have gotten stronger. Usually this is a struggle. Hmm, not bad. We haven't done that in a while, but I still prefer the let machine thing, but it's alright. It's alright. I would prefer the machine one, but this is leaning cable races is also not really that bad. I think the only thing is that leaning cable races is slightly less efficient. Mainly because you can only focus on one side and swap. So by the time we do like one side reps, we have to swap it over on the other side. Whereas with that machine, I could do it all at once, no problem. Okay, what is done? So threes to fives. Let's check out weight. We're like 69 now, huh? Are we 69 or are we back to like don't even know. Not really. I don't even feel hungry right now. Don't even feel hungry right now. That's actually insane. What? Look, we're back to 67. 0.45. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Because what didn't before we had that cheat day, we were literally 60 for like 2 or 3 days. We were ranged around 70, 67.5, and now we're back to that. Isn't that insane? That's that's so interesting. So like, I do remember that. I literally remember. Well, out of my memory, I remember that before we had the 1 kg of rice, we were averaging around 67.5, and then Saturday 1 kg of rice. Sunday the cheat meal. Monday we were like 69 point something kgs. Then yesterday was 68, and then now today is 67. So I guess that just proves that we are ranging around 67. Looks like it. Looks like we're ranging around 67 kgs. Not bad. Oh no. I mean, that's not bad. 67 kgs. GG. Crap, the brain rot. Don't let it touch you. It's alright. No one cares. Is there anything else to talk about? Not really. I don't think it's anything else to talk about. I guess one thing to talk about is that mosquitoes all have to die. But again, at the same time, not that dark. I guess, you know, at least what they do again? I guess they provide something. They do something. I just find it quite unreasonable that to take some blood, they have to cause such annoying, like, because they spit, when the mosquitoes spit at you, they create these bumps and lumps. It's like, bro, just take the blood. Why are you doing that? Sorry, the mosquitoes, they only pop up in the morning. Because yesterday I did the dips and pull-ups a lot later in the afternoon, a lot later at lunchtime, during the sun being fully out and zero mosquitoes. There were like no mosquitoes that I could do it shirtless and not worry. But early in the morning though, dude, the mosquitoes are swarming me in the morning. When I tried to do the dips and pull-ups slightly earlier, like the mosquitoes just swarm me. Not swarm me, but they just keep flying at me. That's why I have a spray can next to me, so I take them out while they try to get towards me, and then breathe in the bug spray as I do pull-ups and dips. It's great. Nothing else to talk about, really. Really can't think of anything to talk about. We haven't gone hunting recently. No, not really. Is this a form exercise? Kind of ish. Are we gonna do that all the time for work? I don't really train forearms now that I think about it. Matter of fact, I don't even train forearms. I think majority of my forearms is already trained up from calisthenics. Like the forearm strength to hold yourself during a pull-up, the forearm strength to hold yourself during a dip, and I guess to a degree the forearm strength when you hold yourself in a push-up position. I think those forearms are already quite enough, I reckon. It's not like my ecosystem doesn't require arm wrestling, so I don't mess with that kind of arm wrestling stuff. Not my thing. I think arm wrestling's just it really depends. Righty ho, now we just do our usual kind of ending for shoulder day, which is just face pulls and abs. It's, the other alternatives I never really cared about. Face pulls were probably one. I think one alternative actually is the cable, no, the rear delt flies machine. Matter of fact, that is one of the variants. Oh, that is one of the variants, but I've always just stuck to this one because it's is a lot. This rope looks brand new. I don't know. No, it's not. This looks like it's brand new. Perhaps it's been cleaned. Oh yeah, like it. Oh yeah. Oh, hold on. Shut up. Just dude, shut up. I must say though, the abs right there were actually kind of difficult. I think it's because yesterday during the calisthenics, I kind of pushed myself on the planks. I think it's because I did it so late that the weather was so hot. So during the planks, it was just dying. Maybe my abs as well. I don't know. But today feels a lot slower during these ab things. Yeah, because it felt slower. Perhaps the abs are a bit damaged. Definitely from the planks yesterday. Planks yesterday, I pushed it quite hard, so I was like sweating and dying. Well, those dips actually, no, those ab things are a lot harder than before. But yeah, definitely from the calisthenics machine. Like I said yesterday, it's like the third time I repeated it. I pushed the abs a bit longer, 4 minutes and 4 seconds straight. But it doesn't really count because when I'm holding it for that long, sometimes I find myself like tilting on one side and like try to give myself some kind of break. Perhaps one thing. Oh yeah, I was gonna say it. I was gonna say yeah about the kettlebell, 10 kg kettlebell. Right? I think I mentioned it in the previous episode, but 10 kgs I could only do like 20, but now, like I said, as we get stronger, I've already I've already managed to increase that rep to 40. Just had to take a bit of time, but yeah, I'm sure I'll be able to do 60 soon. Oh man, today we're gonna be eating so much rice. Oh boy. But this time I'm not gonna record myself because I'm not trying to speedrun eating rice today. Sorry. I'm not trying to speedrun eating rice today. Just wanna eat it. Right. Anything else to talk about? Not really. That's really about it for today. Nothing else to talk about. What I do know is that in the future, as we continue this regime, start running again once ankles and kneecaps are fine. Then one day, I'll be reappearing back onto the media. I'll reappear back onto the gram. See what's up. Not now though, later. Ah yes, the way I edit videos is if I'm doing a really efficient video where I'm not really listening to myself talk, I literally just edit via the sound waves. Literally just editing via the sound waves. Just editing via the sound waves. If there's silence, I either speed it up or cut it. Alright, so alright, too late. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I was gonna say this morning when I woke up, I realized that my left leg was like, like upright. It was like it wasn't laying down. It was like, up, whatever. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it. Again, hopefully you guys learned something from the treadmill part. Did some decent framework teachings and yeah, hopefully, well, not really, just lost the word there. Whatever.
Okay. Go stairs.
내가 아는 거 오래